I'm Libby Gibson, Town Manager. Welcome to What's Going On in Town Government. On my little show here, What's Going On in Town Government, I try to let our visitors know that we have a very active town government. You may not see it when you're enjoying your vacation, but it's there. And for our residents, I try to let you know what's going on and where you can get more information. So there's a lot going on, Gino.
I know.
Oh boy.
We love it.
We love it. It's all good. We had our weekly Board of Selectmen's meeting last night. I won't go through every single item, how about that, but just kind of some of the highlights. But here's a nice thing. 2012 Annual Town Scholarship Awards. We'll put them up on the website, but we have a scholarship committee, and there are a number of scholarship funds within the town. Most of them are under the jurisdiction of the school, but the town has one, and it is contributed to through a checkoff on your tax bill. We get between $4,000 and $6,000 a year from that, but this year we got an influx of $19,000 from the Nantucket Triathlon. So the committee was able to award more and longer scholarships.
Now, let me ask you this. I just did a little interview with Reggie about
more and higher scholarships. Sorry.
Okay. I did an interview with Reggie Levine about an art scholarship that gives out. I mean, there's so many scholarships, it seems like. Are only a few people awarded these? Or
well, for the town scholarship fund, the awards are pretty small. They're like $200, $500, okay, maybe $1,000. But we're not talking big amounts. If you're going to college, it's helpful. That's going to buy some books and things, but you need big money for scholarships. Yeah. In any case, we did those awards. FEMA, Federal Emergency Management Agency, is having a community hearing on Thursday, August 30th at 5:30 at the community room at 4 Fairgrounds Road. They will be discussing revised flood zone maps. This is going to affect people on Nantucket, so we need to pay attention to it. And if you're interested, you should attend.
Why is it going to affect?
Because there may be people who aren't in a flood zone technically now, but who will be in a flood zone with these new maps, which has an impact on your homeowner's insurance.
Okay.
Or your, whatever your insurance is, it covers your building.
Right.
Okay, just some other things. We had a number of, not a lot, a few contracts last night. One of them is evidently somewhat controversial. It's a memorandum of agreement with planning for the administrative oversight of our newly consolidated department called Planning and Land Use Services, Plus. And that agency used to be called Code Enforcement, and it was located at 37 Washington Street. It's moved out now to 2 Fairgrounds Road, and the planning director, through this agreement, will be overseeing the departments for administrative purposes and will report to town administration for that. I think there are some differing opinions on the board about whether or not this is a good idea. The board voted 3-1 to approve the contract, and
what would be one of the reasons why it shouldn't be approved?
Well, you should probably read the op-ed that's in the paper today by one of the board members. He has some issues with it, and one of the main reasons would be that the planning director is not technically a town employee and not part of town administration by charter. So some people have issues with that. And in my mind, we have an MOA, whatever,
what does that mean?
Memorandum of Agreement,
yep,
that the planning director will administer the departments in accordance with town administration policy. He will report in to us about issues, initiatives, projects, personnel matters, and won't take action unless he's got our okay. So if somehow it doesn't work out, then we cancel the MOU, be done with it, and hire somebody else to do it.
Does it save us money? Is that the whole idea here?
It's not so much about saving money. It will save money because we're not hiring someone else to oversee it. But it's more about efficiency and effectiveness of the department and better service to the public. So that was that. That had a bit of discussion. We made appointments to our newly formed sewer planning work group. That group will be working with our consultants in town administration on the comprehensive wastewater management plan. Had some real estate issues. We had end of year fiscal 12 budget reports from our island home and the airport, and we got a bit of an update about how things are going out at the airport. They're going better, and there is more communication certainly between town administration and the airport. there's just some pieces to pick up, shall I put it. And that's taking some time because there's like unraveling and stuff that has to be done. But it's going to happen, and it's moving along. We had a mosquito control update from DPW director. There is still a mosquito problem in Connecticut. I don't think it's as bad as it was last year or in subsequent prior years, but it's not great. So we are working on it, and luckily I think it wasn't quite as bad this year because we didn't have that much rain early on.
I'm not seeing many mosquitoes at all.
Really? Good.
I mean, in town anyway.
Well, yeah, me either.
Yeah.
They're not usually a problem in town.
They're not?
No. But
I mean, they're everywhere though.
They are, yeah.
All right.
Don't try to interrupt my show.
No, not me.
Yeah, you try to take it over. You tried before.
We'll give him his own show one day.
No.
No? Okay.
He'd be good on his own show.
He would be. He can host a front up.
He could. He'd be a great host of front up.
We'll talk to him about it.
Yeah, definitely. Anyway, so mosquito control is moving along. Okay, what else? The board adopted. Sorry.
Progress.
Oh, by the way, since that truck's going by, alert to all trucks, and I've seen this 2 days in a row now. There are loading zones around town. There really are, and sometimes they're illegally parked in by vehicles. That's a problem, no doubt. However, on the top of Broad Street here, there's a perfectly good loading zone that rarely has infiltrators in it that you can park in. Don't park in front of it when it's completely free. I've seen it 2 days in a row. You're taking up a lot of spots that aren't for you.
Well, it may be time for a ticket for them.
Yes, I have asked the police, and I think they are trying to get around to do crackdown on this.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's really annoying, and it's wrong. And sorry, I had a little pet peeve about that because I've seen it 2 days in a row.
Sure.
Perfectly open, free loading zone. Big truck parks right in front of it. Okay, moving on. We also talked about Remain has offered to do an independent study of no parking zones in town. And they had a bit of a scope that they identified. They'll look at yellow lines, they'll look at other no parking areas and determine, do we need them all? Can we open any of them up for parking? So that's, the board pretty much endorsed that study to happen. And then of course anything will come back to the board for further discussion. We acknowledge that we have received a report from the Attorney General's office about airport procurement practices. It's posted online. It basically says that yes, there were a number of procurement problems. They have been not entirely resolved, but the town has implemented controls and mechanisms to properly comply with procurement laws, and they were pleased with that. And I think if we hadn't done those things early on, we would have had a harsher penalty. We didn't really have a penalty. We have to report into them for about a year quarterly on what procurement has occurred at the airport, which is fine. But our procurement officer, Diane O'Neill, deserves a lot of credit for getting these controls and mechanisms in place and getting the airport procurement back on track. And it's also Diane's birthday today.
Ouch.
Seriously, happy birthday. Okay, lastly, there were a couple of committee reports, which I won't go into, but the board members reported out on a few things. And they agreed to hold a special election to fill the seat vacated by Mr. Willauer. So there's not a date yet. I need to work on a little bit of a timeline, but basically they want to have one as soon as possible. They will discuss it again and set the date of their next meeting, which is August 22nd. So it's a little bit sad, but we got to get on with the business of the town.
But wouldn't it save money to just have it in November? So that
yes,
people are already...
I think it would, but they wanted to have it as soon as possible, and I think the general feeling of the board was that Mass General Law and our town's bylaws and charters call for a 5-member board, and they shouldn't waste any time filling this.
Okay. And they have to run again.
And they have to run again in
April.
Yes, because thank you for mentioning that. The term is up in April, so whoever is elected serves only until April, unless they get reelected.
Wow. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, or running again.
All right, so that's going to happen.
So that's going to happen.
So all you candidate wannabes out there, this may be your opportunity.
This may be your opportunity. We will get the information out about when nomination papers are available and due soon. Don't run down to the town building in the next 2 weeks because they won't be ready yet. But the board will be setting these dates again on August, at their meeting on August 22nd. Trying to see what other stuff is coming up. We don't have a meeting next week. We're currently on our summer schedule, which is 2 times a month in July and August. We'll go back to the weekly schedule in September. And what else? What are you hearing? We're really busy with capital project reviews and other normal business. We had a forum this week. The Nantucket Community Association holds an annual summer forum. And we had it on Tuesday at the Athenaeum, Tuesday morning. And what happens there is the board members and I each give a little kind of a 5-minute update on something, a particular topic. I try to give a quick overview of stuff that's going on. These little boys that behind you are watching.
Oh
so
yeah, they
cute.
love TV.
Yeah. I don't think
They all want to be on TV.
They're trying to encroach upon my show. Not going to happen. In any case, the forum was pretty well attended, and then there's a Q&A session at the end, and we had a lot of good questions, and I think it went pretty well.
Okay.
So we'll do it again next year. I think that is
So
about
we've
it.
got a little bit. We might as well break the news now. We're no longer going to be TV 17. We're going to be Geno 99.
That's catchy. Geno 99.
I think so. Libby,
like it.
I'm actually
You're
happy
coming
now.
around?
I'm coming around because people will come around.
Oh, of course they
And the
will.
99 is a good number.
So on 17, will they have a directive to go to
No,
99? Oh.
we're going to have to really let people know
Yeah.
starting
Okay.
now.
So Geno 99.
Yeah.
I like it.
I do too.
It's catchy.
Okay.
Okay, good. Anything else?
It's happening in September.
September.
Yeah.
Okay, so Geno 99 in September.
By the 3rd week in September.
Start prepping.
Prepping.
Okay.
Yep. Okay.
All right, good. Thanks very much. See you next time.